Welcome to the show, friend. Recently, Dr. Keyes was in Memphis, and he and I gave public speeches at a local church. We brought our television gear and we filmed it. If you have not seen this entire series, I encourage you to go to our website and watch it. You will be blessed. You will be challenged. There's no question in anyone's mind who fears God that the family is under attack. And leading the charge against the family, oftentimes, it's people in our government, whether it's the judiciary, our state governments, sometimes local governments, and certainly our federal government. Dr. Keyes finishes his speech talking about the dangers and where do we go from here.
Laws that assault the innocent life in the womb, that assault the concept of human procreation, that assault God's intention for the perpetuation of humanity, and in so doing, we have passed laws that make it lawful to commit crimes against humanity. How dare we say that the Nazis deserved punishment for their crime, but think that our nation shall escape punishment for the crime that it now authorizes against humanity itself? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it is happening, but that's where we stand. And we've taken it one step further. We have taken the further step that now is threatening to directly assault the very fabric of our civilization, not just our way of life as a free people. We want to redefine marriage so that it has no regard for procreation, no regard for the potential existence of the child. So that when you say the word marriage, you will no longer think of the obligations and rights that are attendant upon obedience to God's command that we should be fruitful and multiply. Those are the basis of the natural rights of family, but they shall no longer be part of the institution of marriage as defined by law. Why do you say that, Alan? I say that because if you tell me that two individuals who cannot procreate can enter into the institution of marriage, then you are redefining marriage so that it has no regard for the fundamental right and duty of procreation, which is the foundation of the whole concept of marriage and family life. Once you have done that, who becomes the arbiter of family? Well, only one arbiter will exist. If I am the one who has defined the content of your right, I am the arbiter of that right. Who defines the content of right in homosexual marriage? The government. And once you have accepted that as the basic concept of marriage that then is going to inform your understanding of family life, what are families entirely subject to? They are entirely subject to the power of government. There is no parental authority that stands against the power of government. There is no right and obligation that stands against the power of government. Government becomes the totalitarian ruler of all family life, and parents have no ground on which to stand in order to assert their God-given rights against that government. You think that homosexual marriage is about homosexuality and ethics and behavior. I tell you, homosexual marriage is about the very founding principle of our free way of life. And it ends up making government the all-powerful totalitarian ruler of every human being from the cradle to the grave, with no regard for the God-endowed rights that every human being is supposed to have, according to the fundamental premises of our regime. I've given this talk and shared these ideas with many. I have yet to find anybody who can pick a hole in it. The only hole you can pick is you can just reject the Declaration. And I would like to join with Randall in pointing out the deep apostasy that now characterizes the whole institutional elite of American politics and many walks of life. Randall put it in terms of the fact that they are no longer committed to the true end goal, which is to make sure we take away the notion that it is lawful to murder children in the womb, and that we understand the criminality that is by natural law to be attached to that act. But there is also the fact that the underlying premise that makes that totally relevant to American life and politics is the premise that that natural law gives rise to a command that, when it is obeyed, gives rise to a right that government has to respect. So the whole doctrine of rights is tossed out the window. When you go down the road we are now going down. And that's the true consequence of the debate over homosexual marriage. It's not about homosexuals, it's not about what they do only. It's about whether government can usurp God's power to define that which is naturally right, which rights, therefore, precede and transcend government authority and constrain government action. And by the way, you will find some people who will object, well, we're not